Yeah, remaining switch on the cams fast. So if you remember last class, this is where we stopped. Tan x, a differential. Let's start off with few problems and then we will go ahead.
Sir, I have doubts in the homework.
That we'll discuss end of the class.
Okay.
That everyone has doubts. You always need to wait till the end of the class. Why people are joining so late? I think after 8:3, 8:4, we should just block the meeting and that's it. You're done. You're thrown out of the class. Okay. You guys need to keep your videos on. I see you. Someone is off for some time. Until unless you have a valid reason, I'll be kicking you out of the group. Okay. So let's see few things to discuss. First thing, Sunday ka exam. We have already started the trial testing of the platform. The app thing, it is going fine and all good. So mostly I think it should be online in another week or so for you guys. For 12th, we are going online this week. It has negative marking, so that's a good news for you. And another good news is, the platform looks quite similar, exactly. It is the same platform as an NTA ka one. So when you write the final exam, the experience you get the same experience on this thing. So that was one. And at the Sunday ka test, I think we will try to see it on an app, but I think it is a little unlikely. The portion will be calculus up to whatever I teach you this week. That is mostly differentiation. And Lucky Sir ka vectors and scalar, whatever he has done this week. Up to this week, whatever is taught, that is there in the portion for the Sunday exam. That was one. Second thing, I think our numbers are, almost crossing 35, 36. So we are planning to divide the batch again. We're going to split it up. Meaning, nothing confirmed. I was thinking we should do it, but we will get you to the concrete thing by Saturday or Sunday. I'll let you know. So you might expect a new timetable next week. Timings will be mostly at 7:30 to something like that. 7:30 to 9:15 is one batch, and 9:30 to 11:15 is one batch. There'll be two batches. It will be random. Getting it? We'll be splitting it little randomly. So don't come later with complaint like I want to be in the 9:30 class because I want to sleep more. Right? So that is one issue I think we might face because everyone wants to be in the 9:30 batch so that you can sleep more. For that thing, what we can do every 1 month, right? Every time we keep the schedule, we can swap the both the batches. So this month you're in the morning, next month you're in the later, so you can sleep more 1 month and you can sleep less 1 month. But I don't think that should be a big deal. And you won't be allowed if you're in the batch one, you're not allowed in the batch two. So remember that thing. Don't think like I can skip in the morning and come in the afternoon. You'll be kicked out in the second batch. So we are doing this so that like I can see that the numbers are less. We can give you a better quality. It is more easy to interact and stuff. If you remember, that's what we did first time when it happened. We are planning to do it again. It's a little burden for us, but it is worth it. So these are the few announcements I wanted to talk about. These are two things. There's a third one. Wednesday tomorrow. No. Yeah, Lucky Sir, right, is going to meet you. I think it is on Thursday, your class. He's going to explain you. We are going to create a folder in your Google Drive. So make sure all have a Gmail ID with you. So that folder, right, sir will explain what to do with that. So whatever homework we're giving, we're expecting you will solve the homework on a paper. You scan the photos and upload in the folder. So we have a person who will be correcting that homework. So if you're not submitting the homework on time within deadline or something, then you will get a call. So we are going to take up that also. So that Lucky sir will explain you how it is done, what and stuff. So those are the three things. So make sure you have a Gmail ID. So we are going to have a Google Drive, uploading homework. So these are the stuff. These are the few things I wanted to discuss. I think let's start off. Today, what we will be doing, right? Majorly, we'll be practicing what we did last time, but more problems. And then at the end of the class, I'll take up your doubts of the homework, whatever I've given you. So let's see. You're getting see, you can have your coffee, you can have your breakfast. I don't have a problem. Someone needs to use the washroom, just switch off the video, go fast and come back in a minute. But try to keep it on as much as possible. Right? You're not kids. I will not be treating you like first standard kids. You're adults. That's what I believe. Right? So as long as you're doing the work sincerely, I'm okay with that stuff. At least that's what my teachers have taught me. And that's what I believe in my students. So just just because I said eat breakfast, don't put a big biryani in front of you or a pizza and start eating in front of everyone. That makes me also hungry. It doesn't make sense. Let's see. Let's see. We'll start with a few questions. Get them. Start solving. Write down the question and the solution because I'll not be giving you the notes like I told you last time. I'll not be sending the PDF in the group, so make sure to make the notes properly. Get this hope. You can refer to the formulas, but don't do that in the exam, only for today. Make sure to mug them up, as soon as possible.
So done.
Let's see. Check your answers. Check your answers. Something you didn't get asked me, I'll show it to you. The first one is f of x plus g of x. Second is also f of x plus g of x. Third is f of x by g of x, the fourth formula. The fifth is f of x into g of x. Someone didn't get this thing, please ask me. I'll show you if you're confused.
Sir, I had a doubt.
Which one?
Sir, we can just differentiate a term once only, right? We can't go on and on like till the x goes off.
When you're saying if I differentiate this again.
Sir, take for example 5x raised to 4.
Okay.
My doubt was that we can't go on and on, right, till x goes off. Taking 4 down, then taking 3 down, then 2.
You can do that. You can do that. That is coming up next. There's a double differential, triple differential you're talking about.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. You'll do that. I'll be showing it today.
Sir, can you explain the last one?
X e power x. See. This is f of x. This is g of x. Right? So what is f of x? Is x. What is differential of f of x? 1. G of x e power x. What is differential of g of x? E power x only, na? Now put it in the formula, na? What is the formula? F of x into differential of g of x plus g of x into differential of f of x. So f of x is x, g of x is e power x, differential of g of x is e power x, and that is 1. Make sense? All clear with this?
Sir, can you explain third one?
थर्ड में ये f of x है, ये g of x है. So f of x is x square. इसका डिफरेंशियल क्या होगा? 2x. g of x is x plus 1. इसका डिफरेंशियल क्या होगा? That is 1 plus 0. Then just put it in the formula, na? Remember the formula, fourth one? G of x into differential of f of x minus f of x into differential of g of x by g of x whole square. This was the formula. You have to substitute in this. Clear, Mayor?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Next thing. Someone wants to put it on. Put it on. Let's see the next one.
So we don't consider any constants, right?
If you differentiate a constant, you get a 0, na?
Huh.
Differential of a constant is a 0. Next one. Cosecant x. Fifth one doesn't come, huh? Physics may have never seen this thing coming anytime. But just for your practice, I'm giving you. Secant x comes once or twice. Get these two. 2 minutes for each. Think how will you do it? There's no direct formula for this.
Done, sir.
Okay. Let's see how to do the first one. You have to use, you can write this thing as d by dx of 1 by sine x. So here f of x is 1, g of x is sine x. What is differential of f of x? 0, because it's a constant. Differential of g of x, cos x. Substitute here. Then what is the formula? G of x, differential of f of x, that is 0.
So
Yeah,
don't we have it like the whole upon gx square?
that is coming up. So then f of x is 1, g of x is cos x by whole upon g of x ka whole square, that is sine square x. This is the fourth formula. So that will be minus cos x by sine square x. This can be written as minus cos by sine is cot x, cosecant x. I hope this is what everyone got.
So can we take it as sin x raised to -1?
No, you can't do that. Then what are you going to do after that?
Then the same way what we do with the powers, we take it down and
No,
then
no. See, that formula which we derived is for x power n.
Okay.
But you don't have x power n. You have sin x to the power of something. No, that is not same as x power n.
Okay.
Got it? No, that's a different method. There's a different way to do it that I'll be showing in the next class. What about secant x, people? Same thing. You write this thing as 1 by cos x.
So is it tan x sec x?
Yeah, secant x tan x.
Yes, sir, tan x.
Sir, can we just leave it at sin x upon cos square x?
You can leave it, but it looks more better when you write tan x secant x, nothing much. See here what you do. F of x is 1. Differential of f of x is 0. G of x is cos x. Differential of g of x is minus sin x. substitute into the formula, then g of x, differential of f of x differential of this thing, g of x whole square, which is cos square x. So you end up with sin x by cos square x. So this is secant x and tan x. All clear with this? So I'm sure now everyone is, little comfortable with the formulas and stuff. So let's see some practical applications. All copied this thing, put it down. Now, first thing, see, Pratham was asking if you have a function, you can differentiate it multiple times. So when I write d by d of x, this is f dash x if you remember, this is a symbol. You can differentiate this function again. This we write it as d square by dx square f of x. This we write it as f double dash x. This is how you write a second differential. If you differentiate something twice, I can differentiate this again. This thing is we write d cube by dx cube f of x. This is f double dash x, triple dash x, so on. You can just keep on differentiating anything any number of times. Let me give an example. Let's say f of x is x power 5. So if I say first differential dx by f of x, this is 5 into x power 4. Now, when I say d square dx square, second differential, so after differentiating the first one, you have to differentiate it again. That will be 5 into 4 into x cube. You can differentiate again. This will be a triple differential. That will be 20 into 3x square. You can differentiate again. Normally, we will not differentiate this many times, only 2 times. That will be 60 into dx by dx, which is 60. If you differentiate again, then you're gone. Now you'll get a 0 because it got a constant. So there is no limit like how many times you can differentiate. You can keep on differentiating. So this is, a multiple times you can differentiate the same stuff.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
In d cube upon dx cube, it will come 60x square, right?
Yeah, I missed it. Actually, I should say I'm testing you guys to see who will get it right. This is 2x. This is 120 then. Then if you do one more time, it is gone. Clear? So this is nothing. So when you say 2 or 3 differences, don't get scared. There's nothing there. Next thing. Now see, we know velocity v is given by rate of change of position. Where x is some x coordinate. So if you differentiate a position with time, you got velocity. Acceleration A is rate of change of velocity. But V is itself this thing, so there is dx square by dt square. It's a double differential. If you differentiate position 2 times, you get acceleration. Getting it? So like till now, right, we are using y and x, but actually y and x, you can use any quantity. There is no need like you have to use y and x every time. So let's see some problems on this. So position of a particle is given by find velocity and acceleration in the 3 cases. Find V and A. Normally, how will you write this? Find velocity as function of time t, find acceleration as function of time t. Function. So here, what you have to do, you have to differentiate with respect to time. Basically, what you did with x, the same thing you have to do with t. Let me show you one example. Let's say x is t square plus t plus 1. What is velocity? dx by dt. Now see, this is looking like x power n, so 2t plus 1 plus 0. You're getting this thing? If I write it fully, don't think like, we have to differentiate every time with x only. You can differentiate that x itself with something else. Like this. So that will be 2t plus 1 plus 0. So the answer is 2t plus 1. That's your velocity. What is acceleration again? dv by dt. That will be 2. So acceleration is constant. Velocity is 2t plus 1. Velocity is changing with time. So that is how you do that. Give a try for these three. Here u and a are constants. The third equation, that is a standard one. X is ut plus at square. What happens if I differentiate that? What will I get?
U plus
Have a look
ut.
at. Yeah.
So how did you find acceleration?
Double differential, na? First differentiate that position, again differentiate whatever you got, velocity. If you differentiate 2 times, you'll get acceleration. First one, see. Velocity will be dx by dt. T cube ka differential is 3t square. T square ka differential is 2t. Acceleration. Velocity ka differential. That will be 3 into 2t minus 2. 60 minus 2. Check your answers. This is what you should get. Someone is confused, to ask me. Second is root t plus t. Velocity is dx by dt, first differential. Because one ka differential will be 0.
So do we have to write all the steps?
No, if you can write it directly, I'll be happy without doing a mistake. Like, you know, I'll be the first person, right? Like, there are 10 steps. If you can skip all and able to write the answer, I'll be really happy. But in the class, when I teach you how to write and show you, there is a difference. That's the difference between me and you. That's why in the exam, you can be faster than me. End of the second year, that is a whole goal. You guys should be faster than me. Meaning, I can solve in 1 hour around 70 questions. So if you can solve more than that, you're faster than me. Which is possible. Your seniors are able to handle currently around in 1 hour 50 questions, meaning they're in 12th right now. So I think 60 questions should be easy. What is the third one? UT plus half AT square. The 70 questions when I was in 12th, huh? Last year I had a student who could do 1 hour by 92 questions. Velocity. U plus RFA. If you want to solve so many questions, right, you can't write each and every step. You see the question and you get a feeling like, oh, I have to solve this way. Do you observe something? You got velocity is U plus AT. This is your first equation. If I differentiate this again, dv by dt. Now see, U is constant. That will be 0. That will be A into dt by dt. That is A only. Expected. Acceleration should be A only.
Sir, I did not get this term.
Let's see, यहाँ पे U and A are constant, right?
Yes.
So this will be what? This is U into dt by dt, na? That becomes 1, right?
Yes.
When you differentiate again, U is a constant, right? So constant का differential is 0.
Okay.
Make sense? Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
sir, final answer is A.
Final answer is A only.
How is it?
And you only said answer is A. Where did I say?
Yes.
Now you're
No, sir.
asking how. What you're asking?
Sir, I don't last.
नहीं इसको differentiate again ना V को. U का differential is 0. A into T का differential is A into dt by dt. So dt by dt is 1 ना. ठीक है? Next one.
Yes.
There are 3 questions. You have x is t cube by 3 minus 5t square by 2 plus 60 plus 1. Find the initial position. That is one question. Now, see, remember this thing. Whenever someone says initial position, initial velocity, initial acceleration, initially means what? Time is 0. Remember that thing. Whenever someone uses the word initial position, initial time, it means time is 0. When someone says initial, implies time is 0. So no one is going to say find the velocity at t is 0. They'll say find the initial velocity. That means you have to differentiate and then substitute time is 0. For example, let me show you one example. See, in the previous question, if they had asked you like this now, find velocity and acceleration at t is equal to 1 second. You know what I would have done? a differentiated velocity ना ना अभी इसमें substitute t is equal to 1 meter per second. You want acceleration now? Differentiate v, like differentiate this. First to differentiate, finish your differentiation, then substitute. 6 into 1 minus 2. That will be 4. Hope you're getting it. When someone says find velocity at time t, acceleration at time t, the meaning is first to differentiate as usual. First to get everything in terms of time, and then you put them in the end. First you get velocity and acceleration generally as a function of time. Get it? I'll give you 2 minutes. Give it a try. Then I'll show you how to do. Don't worry about it, but try. It is important you try. It's okay if you get a wrong answer. That is totally acceptable. But the important thing is trying.
Sir, in the last one, will the answer be 0?
No. Why do you think it is 0? Guessing or you got it?
No, I substituted time velocity is equal to 0 in that equation. And then I got t as 5/2, and then I substituted it in the acceleration equation.
Let's see. First thing, what is velocity? dx by dt. Check whether everyone got this thing or not. T square minus 5t plus 6. This is the velocity. Hope everyone got this thing. Someone didn't get this thing, please ask me. I'll show you how you got it. Then acceleration is dv by dt. 2t minus 5. First, everyone should get these two. Manoj, clear with this thing? Karan?
So,
I'm here.
so it was t cube upon 3.
T cube upon 3.
And how it became t square?
Are t cube ka differential what will happen? 3t square, na?
Yes.
So 3 cancel ho gaya, na?
Acha, okay.
No, I don't think you're asking about the formula. You're saying, sir, your handwriting is bad. Okay, I'll improve, but it's okay.
No.
That is fine. Even my mom says the same thing. You to write like what? I don't know, caterpillar types. Big deal. As long as you guys understand, I'm fine. Now, everyone, I hope you got this thing. Now look at this thing. He's saying initial position. So let me write it on the second page. So we got velocity is t square minus 5t plus 6. Acceleration is 2t minus 5. So the first question, say when you say initial velocity, that is t is equal to 0. So we get, now see, this is what I'll write as v of 0. Basically, this is actually v of t. Velocity as a function of time. Velocity is depending on time. Acceleration is a function of time. We don't write the bracket because we are lazy, nothing much. So we will not write. So when you put t0 in this, you get 0 square minus 5 into 0 plus 6. 6 meters per second. This is your initial speed. Initial acceleration. Same thing, put t0. 2 into 0 minus 5. Minus 5 meter per second square. Then you said at t is equal to 1. Substitute again. Velocity में t is equal to 1. 1 square minus 5 into 1 plus 6. So that would be 1 minus 5 plus 2 meters per second. Meaning after 1 second, the speed becomes 2 meters per second. Acceleration at t is equal to 1. That is 2 into 1 minus 5 minus 3 meters per second square. So after 1 second, acceleration is negative 3 meters per second square. Have a look at this thing. Any confusion on this thing? Do ask me. Then what was the next question? Velocity and acceleration at t is 0. No, wait, I forgot. I did the B part first. This was the B part. What was A part? Initial position. That was easy. Initial position at t0 and t1. You have your x, which is t0. What was x the function? T cube by 3 minus 5t square by 2 plus 60 plus 1, is it? Yes. So you want t0, no? Initial position. Zero, zero, 0 plus 1. So initial at 1 meter. At t is equal to 1, substitute 1 there. 1 by 3 minus 5 by 2 plus 6 plus 1. That's going to be 7 minus 0.5, 4.5, 9 by 2 plus 1 by 8, 27 plus 2, 29 by 6. 29 by 6. You can calculate. Is that right? 29 by 6? Okay. These are the first two parts, A and B. Have a look at this thing. In the exam, you get the third question. No one will ask you 1 and 2. 1 and 2 I gave you because I'm trying to take you there. The actual question is the third one. Find the acceleration when the velocity is 0. You will get two answers.
1 and minus 1.
Yes. Others? Look at C. You got velocity as t square minus 5t plus 6. Acceleration is 2t minus 5. Now read the question properly. Find the acceleration when the velocity is 0. Great. So velocity is 0. But what is velocity? T square minus 5t plus 6 is 0. This is a quadratic equation. So this thing are roots now will be t is equal to 2 and t is equal to 3. These are the roots. Hope everyone knows how to find roots for a quadratic. Then now he is asking, indirectly question ye ho gaya na? Find the acceleration when the time is 2 and when the time is 3. So acceleration at t is equal to 2. 2 into 2 minus 5, that is minus 1 meter per second square. Acceleration at t is equal to 3. 2 into 3 minus 5, that is 6 minus 5, 1 meter per second square. So first you need to find velocity, put it to 0, get the time, use that time and put it in acceleration. All clear with this? Let's see one more. Now see, we also know A is what dV by dt, na, rate of change of velocity. Multiply and divide by dx by dx. That will be 1 anyway. You're simply multiplying with 1. Then you can write this thing as dV by dx into dx by dt. But what is dx by dt? Velocity. This is v dV by dx. So acceleration can be written in two different forms. Acceleration you can write as dV by dt, or acceleration can be also written as v into dV by dx. Both are same. When to use which one? Use this if velocity is given as function of time. If someone gives you velocity as a function of time, use this. If velocity is a function of position, then use this. I'll give an example. For example, if someone gives you like this, v is equal to x cube, and they ask you find acceleration. First thing, dv by dx is 3x squared. What is acceleration ka formula? V into dv by dx. What is v? X cube. What is dv by dx? 3x squared. So what is the answer? 3x power 5. That's your acceleration. Got it? So the acceleration, right? There are two forms. Both are right. Actually, you derived one from the other. The acceleration can be written as velocity into dv by dx.
Here, x is displacement or a variable.
X is a position.
Okay.
Here, see, x is position, t is time, v is velocity, a is acceleration. The same symbols normally what we use in kinematics.
In the example, how is it
Velocity,
a function of time? I mean,
it is not a
if
function of time, it is a different
X.
function of x. No? So where did I use dv by dt? I used v dv by dx. Na? Are you getting it? If v is t cube, the answer would be 3t square. Done. That's why I had to multiply. Na? Why did I do all this thing? V into dv by dx. Because velocity is not depending on time. Velocity is depending on x. Make sense? I'll take few examples, don't worry. So now you're seeing actually, where these formulas come. If you see last class and the beginning today, we are just differentiating the random functions. No? The questions actually come like this in the exam on kinematics. All these belong to non-uniform motion. When the acceleration is not constant, you have to use these equations and solve the problem. Copied? Now let's say v is given by x square minus 5x plus 6.
Sir, can you go back?
Then now see, I'll show you the difference. Suppose see, if v is t square minus t, v is x square minus x. Both are different. Find acceleration in both. Let me add you one thing. Find acceleration when v is 0. Find acceleration when v is 0. Now see, both the functions look same, but the quantities are different. First one, velocity is depending on time. Second thing, velocity is depending on position. First one, see. First find the acceleration. So since v is depending on time, the formula is dv by dt. Here, since v is depending on x, the formula is v into dv by dx. Formulas are different. What is dv by dt? 2t minus 1. Great. But you're asking find the acceleration when velocity is 0. So when velocity is 0, what is the time? When velocity is 0, that is t square minus t is 0. T into t minus 1 is 0. That is, you get two roots, t is 0 and t1. Velocity is becoming 0 two times, initially and after 1 second. So what is the acceleration? When it is t0, it is minus 1. When the time is 1, it is 2 into 1 minus 1, 1 meter per second. So there are two answers for the first question. Acceleration becomes minus 1 and 1 when velocity becomes 0. Because there are two times when v is becoming 0. And look at this one. First, find dv by dx. Which is 2x minus 6. Looks like that one. 2x minus 1. But the formula is not dv by dx. No? This is x square minus x. That is velocity into dv by dx. But the best thing, actually I can finish the answer here, but I'll show you. When v is 0, meaning x square minus x is 0. Agreed? What is the acceleration? V dv by dx, right? Now see now, if v is 0, acceleration is 0. There's no need to solve acceleration. Hope you're getting my point. Because you're multiplying velocity into something, v is 0, story is over, acceleration is 0. there is no need to do anything like left hand side. Right hand side, the question is different. Because you're multiplying 0 with something, a differential, it doesn't matter. Have a look at this. If you're confused, do ask me once. Be clear about this. All clear with this? Copied? Next thing. Find the slope of the tangent at x is equal to 1 for the curve y is equal to x square. Now, this is a total verbal way of putting the question. What do you mean by this? Find the slope of the tangent at x is equal to 1 for the curve y is equal to x square. What am I asking you? What it means now? First, let's see how will y is equal to x square look like. Huh? When x is 0, y is 0. Agreed? When x is 1, y is somewhere here, 1 comma 1. When x is 2, 2 comma 4. Similarly, when x is minus 1 comma 1, minus 2 comma 4. So if you try to plot this graph, it comes like this, a U shape. Got it? You can plot this graph and see. You can take some 10 points, and if you plot it, you'll get that thing. It looks like this. This is the graph of y is equal to x square. Now, what he is asking, at the point x is equal to 1, this point where there's a tangent, na? He's asking slope of this tangent. Meaning the tangent is touching the line at x is equal to 1.
Sir, is it 2?
Let's see. Now, indirectly what is being asked, do you remember how we started the whole differentiation? What is dy by dx?
The slope
Of the
line.
tangent, isn't it? That was where we started the whole thing with. So what is dy by dx? 2x. So indirectly, what I'm asking you? I'm asking you find dy by dx when x is equal to 1. So what do you mean by slope of this thing? This line is going to make this angle theta, na? So tan theta is the slope, which is 2. So at the x is equal to 1, when you draw a tangent line, it will make an angle theta with the x-axis. Tan of that angle is 2. So this entire verbal writing of the statement, right? The meaning is find dy by dx when x is equal to 2, x is equal to 1. That was the question. But I wrote it in a verbal form, like find the slope of the tangent at x is equal to 1 for the curve y is equal to x. It's a way of presentation, nothing much. One of my friend, right? He was in naval architecture. IIT Madras, like there are different departments. There's an ocean engineering and naval architecture. So these people had a project. The teacher gave 2 weeks time, and when students start writing the project work, one day before night, right? So he started writing the thesis. Okay, morning 8 o'clock submission. He remembered at night 12 o'clock. He started writing it. Now to write something, you need to do something. Na? Did nothing for 2 weeks. We were just playing around. So this guy started writing a thesis. Huh? At 1 o'clock, he called me. Arun, come see if you. What do you think I should make any changes? I started reading the thesis. It is like construction of sand structures in order to prevent the erosion of the beach, something like that. Look at that. Huh? Construction of sand structures in order to prevent the erosion of the beach. Then there are different points, like how does the structures near the coastal areas behave under different waves conditions, and what are the primary factors that you have to consider? Materials. Oh, bloody! When you read it, you feel like, "Arey, what is this guy talking about? What kind of project is this?" And then I asked him, "Arey, you wrote very good, meaning the terms and the words are pretty nice. But what is the project? What are you writing about?" He said, "Last time the beach pe gaya na, we made that sand ka castle na, that hill sand ka. So beach ka wave came and took all the sand. So I'm writing about that only." So construction of sand structures near the coastal structure, right only na. A structure made of sand near the beach. The beach ka water came, took the sand ka structure and went away. So he is writing how does sand structure behave near the beach. But whoever reads it, right, no one will think he's writing about the sand castle. It looks like as if he's talking about something big. So it happens that way. So people do such things. I think he scored 8 out of 10 for that thing. Hope the teacher asked him what he wrote about. He would have bluffed something, but that's what he said. When I was writing, the inspiration was that, that sand which he kept like a mountain, the beach ka wave came and took it away. With that as an inspiration, he wrote the 2 pages ka bullshit thesis. I don't know what. People do that. I did that in my 10th standard or 9th standard, I guess. Hindi lecture. I'm from Andhra, right? So there Hindi meaning people like they're not so good at it. And that top of it, writing is another headache. And our teacher is little weird only. If it was for 5 marks, you should write 1 page. 10 marks or 2 page. 20 marks or 4 page. I don't know what is that calculation like. Then there was a question on, write about life story of a Gandhiji about for 10 marks. I could finish off everything in half page, but he wanted 2 pages, no? So somewhere in the middle, we started writing, like any nonsense. Gandhiji used to wake up at morning 4 o'clock. He used to use, Colgate toothpaste, right? After brushing with Colgate. Then, starting we used to write beautifully. Gandhiji is born in so-and-so place. This is what he did. This is what he did. Now, in order to fill up the space somewhere at 3/4 of the page, that is where the teacher doesn't see normally. You start writing any shit. Getting it morning, he eats cornflakes. But during that time, there was no milk and salt. So he did Dandi March. Any nonsense you write, whatever you want. And people used to get good marks, right? Out of 10, people used to get 10 out of 10 for it. Just because there are 2 pages. I was still better. I used to stop it, brushing and taking bath. These people used to write everything about it. Then one day he had a fight with one of the person about the fountain pen, the ink spilled, anything. As if someone sat beside him and wrote a story. Things are like that. The questions also sometimes come like that only. For example, look at the second question. It was a joke actually. Find acceleration and velocity is 0. If you know the formula, v is v into dv by dx. If v is 0, a is 0, story over. There's no need to differentiate. But you know what everyone will do? They will differentiate, find the roots, and then they'll substitute. So, kind of. Great. Next thing. Find slope of the tangent. at x is equal to pi by 6, pi by 3, pi by 2 for y is equal to sine x. Meaning this is how the sine x graph looks like. This is sine ka graph. This is x0. This is x is 180. Pi na? Pi radians is 180 degrees here. We write 180 degrees like pi radians. If someone doesn't know that, please see this thing. So this point is 90 degrees or pi by 2. This is a conversion factor. Normally we don't use degrees, we use radians in SI units. So you know what I'm asking the question indirectly? Pi by 6, pi by 3, pi by 2, na? This is the pi by 2 wala. Pi by 3 meaning 60 degree. This is 30, this is 60, and this is 90. This is another tangent, na? This is a 61.
So because it's sine, everything will convert into cos.
Yes. Cos axis is slope, na? This is 30 degree. So at these 3 points, I'm asking you to find the slope of the tangents. Hope you got the question what I'm asking. Get it?
Sir, I did
3
not
by 2.
understand the graph.
What happened?
Graph I did not understand.
That is how the sin x graph looks like. Right? So we need to remember the sine looks like that. Sin x graph looks like that. See now, when x is 0, sine is 0. X is 0, sine 0.
Yes.
As x values increase, and sine will increase, but it will not increase linearly.
Yes.
Sine 91. उसके बाद again value will decrease. Sine 180 is 0. After 180 it will go to negative. Sine 270 minus 1.
Yes.
Sine 360 is 0. Then it repeats. Got it? Every time 0 to 360 the graph keeps repeating. If someone doesn't know how does the sin x graph look like, note it down. This is how the sin x graph looks like. If you see in the table that I gave you, there is one full topic on graphs. I draw graphs for different shapes. You can have a look at it in the booklet. What is the answer for this? The slope is dy by dx. Indirectly, I'm asking you differential of sin x, which is cos x. So you got slope is cos x. At which point you want? This is at any x, na? So x is equal to pi by 6. What is slope? Cos 30. So 3 by 2. That is the slope. X is equal to pi by 3. What is the slope? Cos 60.
1 by 2.
Half. X is equal to 90. Slope cos 90. 0. Obviously, it becomes horizontal line. Any doubts on this thing? Ask me. Now, how do we use the slope curve concept? Let me show you a question on that. Let's see a question. Copy it, everyone. Now, before showing the question, I'll show you one small thing. You know this thing already. If I have an incident light ray and the reflected light ray is the mirror. This is the normal, the angle of incidence, and this is the angle of reflection. We know the angle of incidence is the angle of reflection. Everyone knows this thing, right? Principle of reflection from light. So this is the reflected ray. That is the incident ray. Okay. This is the concept you should know. Now look at the question. Someone has a mirror, which is not a regular one. Mirror is silvered inside. This is your origin, x-axis and y-axis. The equation of this mirror is y is equal to x square. Remember the parabola which I taught you just now? Now I'm combining this with the mirror. The mirror is curved. Mirror is not straight. Someone sent a parallel light ray. Don't worry too much about this. It is just to show you where the actual applications come. We will do this again in optics. And when this thing comes and hits here, it is observed the light ray becomes vertical. A horizontal light ray after hitting the mirror becomes vertical. After reflection. Now the point where this thing collides, let's call it point P. Find the coordinates of P. Find x and y coordinates of P. Now what do you mean by this? Let me explain you in more detail. Now see, this will not happen anywhere. Huh? Suppose if a light ray comes here, it will go like this. Nah? If it comes here, it will go like this. If it comes here, it will go like this. There is only one point where it will become perpendicular. This situation which I gave you, right, becoming perpendicular, this happens only at one particular point P. It's a very unique point on the right hand side at least. Find the coordinates of the point P. Anyone who didn't understand the question, ask me. If you don't know how to start, that is okay. Give it a try. Think about it for a minute. Someone didn't understand what I'm asking, please ask me, I'll explain. But if you
Sir,
don't know
can
how
you
to try,
explain
that is okay.
question again?
You have a mirror, parabolic mirror. Normally, this is how we show you, mirror under silvered. So a light ray is coming from outside, hits the mirror and becomes vertically downward. Aisa. Now, what I'm saying, this will not happen at every point. This will happen only at a specific point. Because see, if you hit like this, you'll become like this. If you hit here, you'll become like this. It will not become perpendicular, na? So there is only one point where it happens. Whose point? The coordinates kya hai? You have to find x and y of this point.
Okay.
Think about this. I'll give you a minute. It's okay if you don't get it. I want you to think about it.
Sir, what is y equals to x square?
वो equation है ना curve का, that mirror का equation. That shape is there na, mirror का shape, that is the equation. Y is equal to x square. This is the equation of that mirror shape, or equation of the mirror, you can say.
Is it 1 upon root 2?
Root 2. No, Ray. Let me show you. Little complex, but not that difficult to understand. Now see, this is how the questions will come in the exam. So if you're thinking now, why are we differentiating x, y, and all? So I just wanted to show you what it means. Now see, the light ray is coming horizontally, it is becoming vertically. Great. This will be the normal. Agreed? So at this point, this will be the tangent. I didn't draw it well, but yeah. Now I know the angle of incidence. Now see the total, this is 45. This is 45. Any doubts on that? Total was 90, na? And I know I is equal to R. This is I, this is R. I is equal to R and the total was 90. Agree till here? Now, if that was 90, this is the x-axis. What is this angle? Then this also will be 45. Because the angle between tangent and normal is 90 degrees, right? If that is 45, then this is also 45. What is slope of the tangent? Tan 45, no?
1.
Because it is making 45 degrees with x-axis, which is 1. But what is slope ka formula? Slope is dy by dx. Does that make sense? So in the equation here is y is equal to x square. So what is slope of the tangent? Dy by dx, which is nothing but 2x. So you're saying indirectly 2x is equal to 1, implies x is equal to half. If x is equal to half, what is y? 1 by 4. Because y is equal to x square. That means this point the coordinates are half comma 1 by 4. So when the light ray hits at half comma 1 by 4, the light ray will become vertical. Again, I'll explain. Listen carefully. The red line is the light ray. The green line is the normal and the tangent. This is the light ray. I said in the question it is given the light ray becomes perpendicular. That means angle between incident ray and the reflected ray is 90. That means angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection is equal to 45 each. 45 plus 45 is 90. Now if these two are 45, 45, look at this angle. Angle between these two is 90 na, because that is a tangent and normal. अगर इसमें ये 45 है तो this also is 45 because total is 90. If this is 45, this is a right angle triangle. This is also 45. So if that is 45, so tangent is making how much angle? Tangent makes 45 degrees with x-axis. Tangent makes 45 degrees with positive x-axis. So that means what is slope? Tan 45. That is 1. Now see, from optics, we proved the slope is 1. From calculus, we are saying slope is dy by dx. You are taking slope from two different chapters and combining them. So optics says from principle of reflection, the slope is 1. From calculus, the slope is dy by dx, which is 2x. Since both are equal, x is half. If x is half, substitute y is equal to x square. From this equation, you get when x is half, y is 1 by 4. This is a kind of question, mains mein this is a easy question, easy to moderate. NEET people ke liye this is a moderate to tough. These kind of questions come. Did you see how it is involved? This is how calculus is used. See, no one is going to use you hi-fi calculus and all. Simple differentiation, but you should know how to apply stuff. If you see, these are some of the applications, like today what we did, velocity, acceleration and stuff. So you can even combine stuff like this from tangents and all. If you're thinking, sir, what is the big deal about it? these parabolic mirrors which I'm showing you, right? All astronomical telescopes, not the one in your house. In this big, observatories which we have, they don't use spherical mirrors. They use parabolic mirrors and parabolic lenses. This shape is a parabola. This U shape is called a parabola. Did you ever see your headlight? This, bikes ka headlight, especially Enfield ka headlight. Next time if you get a chance, look at the headlight of an Enfield bike. If you observe it, it has a very peculiar shape. It's like this. That's a parabola. It is not sphere. And parabola has a property. Parabola, there's a point called focus. If you're a math student, they'll teach you. Physics, I'll just show you later on, but it is not, we don't need much detail about it. But there's a point called focus. What this point says, parabola is a very peculiar property. When you send light rays, parallel light rays, they will go, hit the mirror, they all come and meet at the focus. That is the property of a parabola. This thing, where you can observe, climb onto your terrace or see from your building, you must be seeing this thing, TV ka dishes. The dish is there. And remember, there is one thing like this, the transponder. The signal ka TV ka dish, this is the focus. And this shape which you're seeing, this is not a sphere, that is a parabola. So if you want to, annoy your neighbor and you want to disturb him, right? Just take this transponder and put it little to the side. You won't get any signal. You're getting it? Because whatever signal comes will meet at the focus. That is where you normally keep the transponder, the way to get the signal. If you push it little to the side, everything looks normal, but you won't get any signal properly. So by learning science, that's how you can annoy neighbors without getting caught. Science helps. So the same way, the other way around, you can do the other way around. Suppose if you keep a bulb here, then the light rays will go this way and come out parallelly. The reverse is also valid. So in the bikes, what they do now, they keep the bulb at the focus. If you are riding a scooty, you must be knowing that light, there are two modes. One mode where light will fall on the ground. One mode where light will go straight. So you're creating a parallel beam which will travel for long distance. So it goes on. Small things, but these things matter a lot. There is a Hubble telescope. Heard about it?
Yes, sir.
Check it out. There's a website also. Hubble telescope. See, the problem is on Earth now, when you have a telescope, there is a lot of atmosphere in the middle. So you don't get to see the images clearly. There's a lot of disturbance. So what these people did somewhere in 90s, they created a telescope and they projected into the space. It's a satellite with a telescope. So this thing is hovering around the Earth. Right? It has some pretty beautiful, it takes pretty beautiful pictures. It has a 10 to 20 times better than the telescope on the land. It's called Hubble telescope. Check it out. It has a website also. It will show you what the Hubble telescope is taking recently. So when these people designed the lens of a Hubble telescope, what happened? They forgot to take the gravity into a picture, and while calculating the lens this curvature and all, they missed up a little 2 millimeter error they did. They did an error of 2 millimeter. After launching, they observed the telescope is working only at 10% efficiency for the 2 millimeter of calculation error. And later they spent around, something like $50 to $100 million to go send someone there and correct it again. So 2 millimeters will cost you that much money. You can have a look at the Hubble telescope. It's a good thing. That's one. So I think with that we can close the day and we can see your homework. Let's see, we'll take up the doubts from the booklet. After that, we are done for the day.
So we had to write, we did not